The power of needing no one is not about becoming cold, distant, or isolated from the world. My beloved brothers and sisters, it is about reaching a point where your peace no longer depends on people. Many people spend their lives needing approval, attention, validation, and constant reassurance from others. And because of that need, they live with disappointment, anxiety, and emotional pain. But when your heart becomes attached to Allah instead of people, something extraordinary happens. You stop fearing rejection. You stop chasing acceptance. You stop feeling broken every time someone disappoints you. True freedom begins when your heart learns that Allah is enough. The less you need from people, the more peace you feel within yourself. Dependence on people creates emotional weakness. Dependence on people creates emotional weakness because it places your inner peace in the hands of those who were never meant to carry it. My beloved brothers and sisters, many people do not realize how much control they have given away. They depend on others for happiness, confidence, reassurance, and validation. As a result, their emotional state changes according to how people treat them. A kind word makes them feel good, while a harsh word ruins their entire day. A message brings relief, while silence creates anxiety. This is emotional weakness, not because the person lacks value, but because they have tied their emotional stability to something unstable. Allah created your heart to depend on Him first. The more your peace depends on people, the more vulnerable you become to disappointment. But when your heart depends on Allah, you begin to experience a strength that cannot be easily shaken by the actions of others. Many people believe they need constant support from others in order to feel secure. They feel uncomfortable when they are alone and uncertain when they do not receive reassurance. Over time, this creates emotional dependence because they stop trusting their own ability to cope. My beloved brothers and sisters, support from people is a blessing, but it should never become a necessity for your emotional survival. Human beings are limited. They cannot always be present, available, or understanding. If your peace depends entirely on their support, you will constantly feel unstable whenever they fall short. True emotional strength comes when you learn to stand firmly even when support is absent. My beloved brothers and sisters, emotional dependence often disguises itself as love. You care deeply for someone and gradually begin relying on them for your sense of happiness and security. Without realizing it, their presence becomes necessary for your emotional well-being. When they are near, you feel calm. When they become distant, you feel anxious. This creates a cycle of fear because your peace depends on something outside your control. Healthy love allows you to care deeply while remaining emotionally stable. Dependence, however, creates weakness because it makes your happiness conditional upon another person's actions. One of the clearest signs of emotional weakness is overthinking. When your heart depends on people, your mind becomes consumed by them. You analyze every conversation, every message, and every interaction. You worry about what they think of you and how they feel about you. This constant mental activity drains your energy and robs you of peace. My beloved brothers and sisters, the more dependent you become, the more your mind becomes trapped by uncertainty. But when your trust is placed in Allah, your thoughts become calmer because your security no longer depends on understanding every detail of human behavior. Dependence on people also creates fear of rejection. Many people avoid speaking honestly, setting boundaries, or making necessary decisions because they fear losing someone's approval. they begin shaping their lives around keeping others happy. This fear weakens the heart because it prevents a person from living with confidence and sincerity. My beloved brothers and sisters, when your worth comes from Allah, rejection loses much of its power. You no longer feel the need to sacrifice your values just to maintain acceptance. Your confidence becomes rooted in faith rather than in human approval. My beloved brothers and sisters, emotional weakness grows whenever you expect people to provide what only Allah can provide. No human being can offer perfect understanding, permanent comfort, or endless reassurance. People will make mistakes because they are human. They will sometimes disappoint you even when they care about you. If your emotional foundation depends entirely on them, every disappointment becomes painful. But when your heart relies upon Allah, disappointments become easier to handle because your peace is built upon something far more stable than human behavior. Trusting Allah is what transforms weakness into strength. The more connected you become to Him, the less desperate you become for validation from people. You stop needing constant reassurance because your heart feels secure in Allah's care. You stop seeking approval from everyone because you understand that Allah's approval matters most. This trust creates emotional resilience because your peace no longer rises and falls with people's opinions. Instead, it remains anchored in your relationship with your Creator. At the end of it all, dependence on people creates emotional weakness because it places your happiness, confidence, and peace upon an unstable foundation. People change, circumstances shift, and expectations are often unmet. But Allah remains constant through every stage of life. When your heart depends on Him first, you become emotionally stronger, calmer, and more secure. You continue to love people and appreciate them, but you no longer need them to complete you. And in that freedom, you discover a strength that allows you to face life with dignity, confidence, and unwavering trust in Allah. Allah is the only one who never leaves. Allah is the only one who never leaves. And this is one of the most comforting truths a believer can hold on to. My beloved brothers and sisters, life teaches us that people come and go. Some stay for years and then disappear. Some make promises they cannot keep. Others love us sincerely but are unable to remain with us through every stage of life. This is not because people are evil. It is because people are human. They are limited by time, circumstances, emotions, and even death itself. But Allah is not limited. He does not become distant, forget about you, or abandon you when life becomes difficult. Even when everyone else leaves, Allah remains near. Even when nobody understands your pain, Allah knows every detail of what you are carrying. This truth alone can bring tremendous peace to a heart that feels lonely or forgotten. Many people experience heartbreak because they place too much trust in human permanence. They expect relationships to remain exactly the same forever. They believe certain people will always be there no matter what happens. Then life changes, circumstances shift, people move away, relationships end, and expectations are broken. My beloved brothers and sisters, while these experiences are painful, they also teach an important lesson. Human beings were never meant to be your ultimate source of security. If your peace depends entirely on people staying, your heart will always live with fear. But when your peace depends on Allah, you gain a source of stability that remains untouched by life's changes. My beloved brothers and sisters, there are moments in life when you may feel completely alone. You may be surrounded by people and still feel misunderstood. You may be carrying struggles that nobody else knows about. During these moments, Shaitan often tries to convince you that nobody cares. But the believer remembers something powerful. Allah sees every tear, every worry, and every silent prayer. You are never truly alone because the one who created you is fully aware of everything you are experiencing. This awareness creates comfort because it reminds you that even in your darkest moments, Allah's knowledge and mercy remain with you. One of the greatest differences between Allah and people is that Allah never becomes tired of listening to you. Human beings may become overwhelmed, distracted, or unable to understand your struggles. Even those who love you deeply have limits. But my beloved brothers and sisters, Allah never grows tired of your prayers. You can turn to Him repeatedly with the same worries, the same fears, and the same hopes. Every time you raise your hands in dua, He listens. Every time your heart calls upon Him, He hears. This constant availability is a mercy that no human relationship can ever fully provide. My beloved brothers and sisters, Allah remains with you during every season of life. He is with you during success when others celebrate you. He is with you during failure when others criticize you. He is with you during moments of joy and during moments of grief. Human companionship often changes according to circumstances, but Allah's knowledge of you never changes. He knows who you are when everyone else misunderstands you. He knows your intentions when people judge your actions. This constant awareness creates a sense of security that strengthens the heart during difficult times. Trusting that Allah never leaves also helps you overcome fear. Many people live in fear of losing relationships, opportunities, or support systems. While these fears are understandable, they become overwhelming when people forget who truly controls their affairs. My beloved brothers and sisters, when you know that Allah is always with you, fear begins to lose its power. You understand that even if circumstances change, your Creator remains the same. Even if people walk away, Allah's mercy remains available. This trust allows you to move through life with greater courage and peace. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most beautiful aspects of faith is knowing that Allah is closer to you than anyone else can ever be. People may only see your outward actions, but Allah knows your inner reality. He knows the battles you never speak about. He knows the patience you show when nobody is watching. He knows the sincerity hidden within your heart. This closeness means that you never have to earn His attention through perfection. You simply need to turn back to Him with sincerity, and His door remains open. What an incredible blessing that is. At the end of it all, Allah is the only one who never leaves. People may come and go, circumstances may rise and fall, and life may change in ways you never expected. But Allah remains constant through every chapter of your journey. When your heart truly understands this, loneliness begins to lose its power. Fear becomes smaller, hope becomes stronger, and peace settles within the soul. You continue to love people and appreciate them, but you no longer depend on them for your deepest sense of security. Instead, you place your trust in the one who has always been there, who is with you now, and who will never abandon those who sincerely turn to Him. The less you need approval, the more freedom you gain. The less you need approval, the more freedom you gain. Because approval is one of the most powerful chains that quietly controls people's lives. My beloved brothers and sisters, many individuals spend years trying to be accepted, appreciated, and admired by everyone around them. They carefully choose their words, hide parts of their personality, and constantly worry about what others think. Without realizing it, they become prisoners of human opinion. Their happiness depends on praise, and their confidence depends on acceptance. But when approval becomes a necessity, peace becomes difficult to find. True freedom begins when your heart no longer depends on being validated by everyone. It begins when you realize that your worth comes from Allah, not from people's opinions. The less you seek approval from others, the lighter your heart becomes and the more freedom you experience within yourself. Many people are afraid to make decisions because they fear criticism. They delay important choices, avoid opportunities, and remain stuck in situations that no longer serve them simply because they worry about what others will say. My beloved brothers and sisters, this fear steals freedom. When your life is controlled by other people's opinions, you stop living according to your values and start living according to their expectations. But the moment you stop needing constant approval, you gain the courage to make decisions with confidence. You begin focusing on what is right rather than what is popular. This shift creates a powerful sense of independence that allows you to move forward without constantly looking over your shoulder. My beloved brothers and sisters, seeking approval often leads people to hide their true selves. They become different versions of themselves depending on who they are around. They say what others want to hear and suppress what they genuinely believe. Over time, this creates emotional exhaustion because maintaining a false image requires constant effort. But when you stop needing approval, you no longer feel pressured to wear masks. You become comfortable with who you are because your identity is rooted in your relationship with Allah rather than in public opinion. This authenticity creates peace because your inner reality and outward behavior begin to align. One of the greatest freedoms in life is freedom from overthinking. Many people spend countless hours replaying conversations, analyzing reactions, and worrying about whether they were accepted or judged. This mental burden becomes exhausting because it keeps the mind trapped in concerns that often do not matter. My beloved brothers and sisters, when you stop seeking approval from everyone, much of this overthinking disappears. You stop trying to control how people perceive you and start focusing on what truly matters. Your mind becomes calmer because it is no longer occupied by the impossible task of pleasing everyone. The need for approval also creates fear of rejection. People become afraid to speak honestly, set boundaries, or stand firm in their values because they do not want to disappoint others. This fear limits growth and prevents people from becoming the person Allah created them to be. But my beloved brothers and sisters, rejection loses much of its power when your confidence comes from Allah. You understand that not everyone will agree with you, support you, or understand your choices, and that is okay. Your purpose is not to gain universal acceptance. Your purpose is to live with sincerity and faith. My beloved brothers and sisters, when Allah becomes your source of validation, everything changes. You stop measuring your worth through likes, compliments, praise, or recognition. You stop allowing criticism to define your identity. Instead, you focus on pleasing Allah and improving yourself. This creates a deep sense of freedom because your emotional state is no longer controlled by unpredictable human opinions. Whether people praise you or criticize you, your foundation remains stable because it is built upon something far stronger than public approval. Another beautiful result of needing less approval is healthier relationships. When you stop depending on others for validation, you stop placing unrealistic pressure on them. You can appreciate people without needing them to constantly reassure you. You can enjoy relationships without making them responsible for your self-worth. This creates more balanced connections because your interactions are based on sincerity rather than emotional dependence. You love people freely because your happiness no longer depends entirely on their response. At the end of it all, the less you need approval, the more freedom you gain because you stop giving other people control over your emotions. You no longer allow praise to inflate you or criticism to break you. Your confidence becomes stronger because it comes from your relationship with Allah. Your peace becomes deeper because it is no longer tied to public opinion, and your life becomes lighter because you are no longer carrying the exhausting burden of trying to satisfy everyone. In that freedom, you discover a strength that allows you to live with dignity, authenticity, and trust in Allah, knowing that His approval is worth far more than the approval of the entire world. Emotional independence protects your peace. Emotional independence protects your peace because it prevents your heart from becoming controlled by the actions, opinions, and decisions of other people. My beloved brothers and sisters, many people unknowingly hand over their emotional well-being to those around them. Their happiness depends on being noticed, their confidence depends on being praised, and their peace depends on being understood. As a result, they live on an emotional roller coaster. One moment they feel uplifted, and the next they feel discouraged. This constant instability is exhausting because their inner state is being controlled by things they cannot fully manage. Emotional independence changes this. It allows you to remain calm even when people disappoint you. It allows you to maintain your peace even when circumstances are not ideal. Most importantly, it reminds you that your emotional foundation should rest upon Allah, not upon the changing behavior of people. Many people assume emotional independence means not caring about others, but that is not true. My beloved brothers and sisters, emotional independence is not the absence of love. It is the absence of unhealthy dependence. You can still love your family deeply, care for your friends sincerely, and support the people around you wholeheartedly. The difference is that your happiness no longer depends entirely on their actions. You appreciate them without becoming emotionally controlled by them. This balance creates peace because you are able to enjoy relationships without making them the center of your emotional world. Love remains, but fear and desperation begin to disappear. My beloved brothers and sisters, emotional dependence often leads to constant overthinking. When your peace depends on someone else, your mind becomes occupied with their behavior. You analyze every message, every conversation, and every interaction. You worry about what they think, how they feel, and whether they still value you. This mental burden drains your energy and steals your peace. Emotional independence protects you from this trap. Instead of constantly seeking reassurance from others, you develop confidence in your relationship with Allah. Your thoughts become calmer because your emotional stability no longer depends on understanding every detail of another person's actions. One of the greatest benefits of emotional independence is freedom from disappointment. Human beings are imperfect. Even the people who love you most will sometimes fail to meet your expectations. They may forget, misunderstand, or unintentionally hurt you. My beloved brothers and sisters, If your happiness depends entirely on people, every disappointment feels devastating. But emotional independence creates resilience. You still feel pain when someone lets you down, but you do not fall apart. Your peace remains protected because your foundation is built on something stronger than human behavior. You understand that people are limited while Allah's mercy and support are unlimited. My beloved brothers and sisters, emotional independence also strengthens your self-respect. When you stop depending on people for validation, you begin to recognize your value more clearly. You no longer need constant approval to feel worthy. You stop changing yourself simply to gain acceptance. Instead, you become comfortable with who you are because your identity is rooted in your faith. This confidence allows you to make decisions based on your values rather than on people's opinions. As a result, your heart feels lighter because it is no longer carrying the burden of trying to please everyone. Trusting Allah is the foundation of emotional independence. The more connected you become to Him, the less dependent you become on human reassurance. My beloved brothers and sisters, Allah provides a sense of security that people cannot provide. When your heart trusts Him deeply, you stop expecting perfection from others. You stop looking to people for things that only Allah can truly give. This trust creates emotional stability because your peace comes from a source that never changes. While people may come and go, Allah remains constant through every stage of your life. Emotional independence also helps you establish healthier boundaries. You stop allowing others to drain your energy, manipulate your emotions, or determine your self-worth. You become more aware of what is beneficial for your heart and what is harmful. My beloved brothers and sisters, boundaries are not walls that separate you from people. They are protections that preserve your peace. Emotional independence gives you the strength to maintain these boundaries without guilt because you understand that protecting your well-being is part of honoring the trust Allah has placed within you. At the end of it all, emotional independence protects your peace because it frees your heart from unnecessary dependence on people. You continue to love, care, and build meaningful relationships, but your emotional stability no longer depends on them. Your peace becomes deeper because it is rooted in your trust in Allah. Your mind becomes calmer because it is no longer trapped by constant worry and overthinking. And your heart becomes stronger because it knows that its true source of security does not come from people, but from the one who never leaves, never fails, and never stops caring for his servants. In that realization, you discover a peace that remains steady no matter what changes around you. Solitude can be a source of strength. Solitude can be a source of strength when it is understood correctly. My beloved brothers and sisters, many people fear being alone because they associate solitude with loneliness, rejection, or abandonment. They believe that being surrounded by people is the only way to feel complete. But Islam teaches us that some of the most powerful moments of growth happen in quietness and reflection. Solitude is not always a punishment. Sometimes it is a gift from Allah. It is a space where distractions are reduced, where the heart becomes clearer, and where you begin to hear your own thoughts more honestly. When used properly, solitude allows you to reconnect with Allah, understand yourself better, and develop a strength that does not depend on constant attention from others. What feels like loneliness at first can become one of the greatest sources of personal growth. Many people spend so much time around others that they never truly get to know themselves. Their schedules are filled with conversations, social interactions, and constant noise. As a result, they become familiar with everyone else, but unfamiliar with their own hearts. My beloved brothers and sisters, solitude creates an opportunity for self-discovery. It allows you to step away from the opinions and expectations of others and reflect on who you really are. You begin to identify your strengths, weaknesses, goals, and relationship with Allah. This self-awareness is a source of strength because it helps you live with greater clarity and purpose. My beloved brothers and sisters, some of the strongest believers in history experienced periods of solitude. Moments of reflection and seclusion allowed them to strengthen their connection with Allah and prepare themselves for greater responsibilities. Solitude removes many distractions that often pull the heart away from what truly matters. Without constant noise, the soul becomes more receptive to guidance. You begin to notice things you previously ignored. You reflect more deeply, pray more sincerely, and appreciate Allah's blessings more clearly. In this way, solitude becomes a means of spiritual growth rather than a source of sadness. One of the greatest benefits of solitude is emotional healing. Many people carry wounds from relationships, disappointments, and difficult experiences. They often try to avoid these feelings by constantly surrounding themselves with distractions. But healing requires reflection. My beloved brothers and sisters, solitude provides a safe space to process pain, seek forgiveness, and rebuild emotional strength. It allows you to bring your worries directly to Allah instead of burying them beneath endless activity. Through this process, your heart becomes stronger because it learns how to heal rather than simply avoid discomfort. Solitude also teaches emotional independence. When you are constantly surrounded by people, it is easy to become dependent on their presence for comfort and reassurance. But spending time alone helps you realize that your peace does not have to depend on others. My beloved brothers and sisters, the ability to remain calm and content in your own company is a sign of strength. It shows that your happiness is not controlled by who is present or absent in your life. Instead, your peace comes from a deeper source, your relationship with Allah. My beloved brothers and sisters, solitude can strengthen your trust in Allah. When people are not constantly around to reassure you, you learn to rely more heavily on your Creator. You turn to Him with your fears, your hopes, and your uncertainties. This reliance builds faith because you begin to experience Allah's support in a more personal way. You realize that even when no human being is available, Allah is always near. This understanding transforms solitude from something frightening into something comforting. The heart becomes stronger because it learns that Allah is sufficient. Another blessing of solitude is that it helps you focus on personal growth. Without the constant influence of other people's opinions, you have more space to work on yourself. You can improve your character, strengthen your faith, develop beneficial habits, and pursue meaningful goals. My beloved brothers and sisters, growth often requires quiet moments. It requires stepping away from distractions and giving yourself time to reflect, learn, and improve. Solitude creates that opportunity. It allows you to invest in yourself in ways that are often difficult when life is filled with constant noise and activity. At the end of it all, solitude can be a source of strength because it teaches you lessons that are difficult to learn in a crowd. It teaches self-awareness, emotional independence, patience, and trust in Allah. It gives your heart space to heal and your soul room to grow. You begin to discover that being alone does not mean being abandoned. As long as Allah is with you, you are never truly alone. And when your solitude brings you closer to Him, it becomes one of the most powerful tools for building a stronger, calmer, and more resilient heart. Trusting Allah removes fear of rejection. Trusting Allah removes fear of rejection because it changes the place from which you seek your worth. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the deepest fears many people carry is the fear of not being accepted. They fear being rejected by family, ignored by friends, abandoned by someone they love, or criticized by the people around them. This fear influences countless decisions. It causes people to remain silent when they should speak, tolerate what they should not tolerate, and chase approval they were never meant to depend upon. But when your heart truly trusts Allah, something begins to change. You realize that your value does not come from human acceptance. It comes from the one who created you. The more deeply you trust Allah, the less power rejection has over your heart, because your worth is no longer tied to the opinions of people. Many people spend years trying to avoid rejection at all costs. They change their personalities, hide their true feelings, and constantly seek validation from others. They believe that if everyone accepts them, they will finally feel secure. But my beloved brothers and sisters, this is an impossible goal. No matter how kind, sincere, or good-hearted you are, there will always be people who misunderstand you or disagree with you. Seeking universal acceptance is a burden that no human being can carry successfully. Trusting Allah frees you from this burden because it reminds you that your purpose